First thing on my list of what I want to talk about today is the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. First thing I have for you guys is how are you guys going to rank the top 5 QBs in this draft? Obviously, super important QB draft.
All right, Nati. I have a couple of issues with this whole list of yours. First of all, Trevor Lawrence is not the number one quarterback. Everybody listen up. Everybody listen up. Trevor Lawrence is not the number one quarterback in this draft. It's Zach Wilson. Now, you said yourself you love Zach Wilson. That's a fact. We can agree on that. I think he's going to be better than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, correctly, is not driven. Trevor Lawrence is in a position of privilege. If any other quarterback said what Trevor Lawrence said, they would get eviscerated. But because Trevor Lawrence is the consensus number one, everything's okay. He's compared to Andrew Luck. That's fine. He's the safe pick, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be the best in this draft class, but he's the safest pick if you're the Jaguars at number one. That's a fact. I like Zach Wilson because he offers more. I think he has a higher ceiling in the NFL when you compare him to Lawrence directly. It may not be apparent now, but it will be in the future. I have Zach Wilson at 1, Trevor Lawrence at 2. Trevor Lawrence, I'm not saying is a bad quarterback. I just think his ceiling is Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was not a bad quarterback. Great quarterback. Probably going to be a Hall of Famer if he had stayed on the track and actually didn't retire early. That said, though, there are better quarterbacks in the game. That's just a fact. Andrew Luck was interception prone, bad offensive line, sacked a lot. Some of those things you can't control, but you could control the interceptions and the completion percentage, and over time it got better, then he retired. So he's the safe pick at number 1, but he is not my number 1 most talented quarterback. So Zach Wilson at 1. Trevor Lawrence at 2. Trey Lance is number 3. Yes, I do believe Trey Lance is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. I've been wanting the Bears to draft him for so long, but I think they're going to have to trade up, and I don't know if it's worth them doing that. That said, Trey Lance is, I think, a very talented quarterback, just like Josh Allen. You know, the pro comp is Josh Allen. I'm not a fan of Josh Allen. I don't believe in him yet, but he did have a great year last season. If that could be sustained, we're talking about legitimate growth. We're talking about an MVP candidate every single year. I think Trey Lance could be that guy for whomever drafts him. Number 4, Justin Fields. Fields is an okay quarterback, but the Ohio State thing is very much scaring me. I'm not even going to talk about Dwayne Haskins. Nati, let's go back to 2008, 2007. Let's talk about Troy Smith, the Heisman Trophy winning Troy Smith, who competed with Alex Smith for a job in San Francisco, then competed with Colin Kaepernick at one point. And Jim Harbaugh, at one point, thought Troy Smith was better than Alex Smith and Kaepernick at that time, and actually had him start, and there was a quarterback competition. Troy Smith is a bust. Dwayne Haskins is a bust. Cardale Jones is a bust. All of these guys who come from Ohio State cannot do anything in the NFL. They can't do a thing. Ohio State is not a developmental quarterback school. That doesn't mean they don't do well in other areas, but quarterback-wise, they can't get the job done. And I'm not going to sit here and just defend another one of these guys when the past track record is what it is. Number 5 is Mack Jones. Mack Jones's pro comp is Andy Dalton, which makes me scared that the Bears are going to draft him just to, pair him with Andy Dalton. But the fact remains that if your pro comp is Andy Dalton to begin, I mean, what more do you have to say? I know Andy Dalton's a winning quarterback. I understand. Been around a long time. Playoff appearances. The guy never wins anything, and he's average at best. 14 touchdowns, 8 picks last year. Good job. What, do you want a cookie? Who cares? So, if you're being compared to Andy Dalton fresh out of college, that's a problem. So that's my top 5.